So what is midlife all about? So first of all, I'd like to say that it's not actually a crisis. That's actually something that's kind of been suggested by a researcher quite a long time ago on limited evidence. And then that concept has been, I suppose, passed around in society until we believe that that's the case. And that's not to say that in midlife we don't have things happen that are pretty sad and pretty unhappy, because they do. And we do have that happen. You know, it's that time when our parents can get sick, people we know can also get sick, but that doesn't make it a crisis. So in actual fact, midlife is meant to be a time of transition, and getting something like menopause is actually showing that that's what we're at. We're at that transition stage. And it's actually the time for you to set yourself up for the second half of your life. So it's kind of the time to come into sort of using a more ancient concept, the wise woman power. So that's what you're kind of heading towards. It's, you know, we buy too much into the idea that midlife is a crisis and that it's also, you know, the point at which women lose their power. No, this is when we become more powerful if we, you know, kind of tap into that. I'm Marianne from One Life to Flourish, and welcome to tonight's second episode of Menopause is Not a Dirty Word, which is a show that shows women how to actually smash through the myths and the misinformation around midlife so that you can actually become the queen of your midlife. Now, before we begin, if you know of anyone who is a woman who is at midlife and struggling a little bit, maybe invite her to join the broadcast just by clicking the arrow button that should be down below me somewhere. And also, we are going live in a few different places, but we are originating from My Time TV Live, so I would love to have people interacting and commenting, so make sure that you're able to do that and just sing out if you are watching, if you've got any questions. Otherwise, if you're watching in other places, I'll try and catch up if you make comments or have questions as we go through. All right, so let's start with thinking about what are some really critical things that it's important to do so that you can actually build that feeling of this being more of a magical time of your life. Now, the problem is that too often we don't feel that this should be a magical time of our life. We kind of buy into the message of society that women actually become less worthy, I suppose, as we age. So we actually need to stop buying into that, number one. And then there's a few things to do that we're kind of going to unpack as the shows go through, as I get some special guests coming in to talk to you about different topics and things like that. But I'm going to cover a few things that it's important to actually put into place so that you can get the most out of your midlife. So the first thing is to pause. How hard is that? You know, we have incredibly busy lives and we're doing this, we're doing that. We kind of get into that whole, I suppose, what they call now rushing woman syndrome. You know, we just never seem to stop. And yet some of the things that happen to us as we get into midlife, particularly around menopause and that kind of thing, are really kind of telling us it's time to actually pause, to actually stop, spend a little bit of time where you actually give yourself a bit of a break, have a bit of a rest time, a reflection time, some contemplation, because you should be reassessing where you're at and where you want to be at. So it is all about slowing down. Hi Adair, good to see you here. And I'll just see if I can bring that up. Yes, it is a really interesting topic. It's also a really important topic for women who are about to get to their midlife or women who are actually going through it at the moment. All right, so we're going to slow down first of all. Then the next thing, and this is sometimes the hardest one, we actually have to get really comfortable, really accepting of who we are now and accepting of the fact that we're not as young as we used to be. So accept that, you are getting older, but that's okay. Age is really just a number. And how you approach aging can have a big impact on how well you age. So kind of go, it's fine, and accept it and accept yourself. Remember, who you are inside is the most important thing. What happens on the outside, much less important, although it is important to stay fit and healthy. But we'll talk a little bit more about that shortly. All right, so really work once again on building up your inner resources so that you do get to be that wise woman of your tribe, the one who's going to step up, share her wisdom, and lead in an amazing way. And hopefully we're going to have some amazing women actually come on and share some stories about that very idea of becoming the leader of their tribe. Because it's really important. That's really what midlife is about. Okay, so leading on from that, the next important thing is to actually really start to respect and look after your body. Yes, it's not as young as it used to be, but we can treat it in a way so that it can do some amazing things still. So it really is time to actually think about what's going into your body, what it's doing to your body, and just try and be really caring and nurturing to your body. If you do that for your body, then your body will thank you, and you'll kind of be able to have, I suppose, a process of self-healing in a way. So think about lovely, healthy, whole foods. Think about moving every day and in different ways, building your strength, building your flexibility. Just really enjoy the body that you're in and treat it with love and care. All right, the next one, of course, as the title of these shows indicates, menopause is a big part of midlife for women. So actually find a way to make friends with your hormones. And this is an area where we get lots of misinformation and misunderstanding is around what's happening with our hormones and what we can do about it. I've got a few guests lined up to come and give you some more information on that. But essentially, just try and understand what's happening in your body. The more you treat it with love and care, the more you'll be able to balance your hormones anyway. But there's also things like just learning how to kind of relax and practice mindfulness. All those kinds of things can actually help to balance our hormones. The stuff we're putting into our body, so back to the foods again, can really help with hormones and when and how we eat as well. All right, so hormones are important, but they're not the be-all and the end-all of midlife. All right, next most important thing is to actually get rid of your emotional baggage. If you're going to move on and create an amazing second half of your life, now's the time to actually release the crap of the past, deal with it, and then put it in the past where it belongs. Don't let it still be there directing your life. So it really is time to, think about what emotions to let go of, what events to just kind of go, can't change that, just forget it. How can we be emotionally balanced? So it really is about accepting stuff's happened in your life, but that's going to make you into the amazing woman for you to be as you move through the rest of your life. Then the next thing, which is really the most important part of you becoming like that wise woman leader, is to find your purpose. Now, over time, your purpose can change. What your purpose was when you were in your 20s and 30s is probably going to be different now as you start to move into the second half of your life. So really focus in on what you want to have as the important part of your life moving forward. So what's going to really engage you, what's going to satisfy and you feed you at that deep, deep level? And start to work towards that. Having your purpose is actually what is going to give you the most deep satisfaction that will actually keep you going. This is what scientists have found, that purpose becomes the most important thing as you get into your 40s and beyond, rather than just the search for, kind of pleasure type of happiness. So really think about it. This is part of the whole pause and think and contemplate where you're at. All right, so there's a few tips to get you going. So see how you can go, see what you can start to create as amazing midlife. And watch out for next week to see what I'm going to be talking about, who I might be talking to, and so on. Now, if you are in midlife and you're struggling a little bit, then I have put into the comments a link to the Facebook group Magic of Midlife. And this group is about supporting women, letting them access different kinds of information, safe space to ask questions, all kinds of questions, to share their stories, share their ideas, and just feel like they're part of a supportive community that understands where they're at. So please think about joining the group. And also, if you are ready to actually work at a deeper level on some of your struggles at midlife, then contact me for details of my program that is starting very soon, as in during February. Okay, and the purpose of the program is to actually help you do all of those things that we've talked about at a one-to-one level, and also some things that will actually help some healing to work at a better level also. So it's a healing, wellness, mindset kind of program that is incredibly powerful for those people who are really finding it hard at the moment in midlife. I hope you have a really great rest of the weekend. I hope you've got as lovely weather where you are as we are having here at the moment. And I really wish you the best during your midlife journey. Enjoy it. I know it can be tough because you've got all kinds of things going on, but center yourself, take time for yourself to pause, and it will be amazing. All right. Good evening, and I will hopefully see you again next week. So goodbye.